Hi, Supriya. I'm Ariana.
Hey, so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So, I saw that you majored in neuroscience in college. Is that right?
Yes, I did. I did major in science. I was a pre-med person. The secret is out. I'm actually gonna tutor an MCAT class in a couple hours, which is kind of insane. Yeah, I mean the show is just such a good merging of like both sides of my life. So I just feel so lucky and grateful that I have this opportunity.
It's funny that you mentioned the MCAT class because, like, I Googled your name and there was something about tutoring, and I'm like, oh, maybe it's just a common name. But no, this is.
I do tutor, and it actually something really has shifted in the past 2 weeks where like because the show is so popular in the medical community, like med students or hopeful med students are really watching it. And when the first show first came out, maybe it was like one person kind of going like, "Oh my God, I recognize you," and I'd be like, "Okay, great." And then I was doing a class like 2 weeks ago, and it was like the only thing everyone could talk about. And I'm like, guys, like we need to talk about neurons, like what's going on. Like, please let me teach you. I'm gonna get fired. So it's definitely been interesting seeing that shift. And yeah, I mean it's I might need to quit, which I'm kind of sad about because at this point I might be more of a distraction than is worth for the company. But yeah, that is something I did in my spare time.
That's crazy. Would you say that your neuroscience and your medical background has been helpful in portraying Dr. Mohan?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I definitely have like a sense of medical terminology, and so when we get scripts, I'm able to get a sense of what's going on. I still need to Google things. I still
Mhm.
need to look into like the nitty-gritties of things. But like the base understanding of, biology and chemistry and physics, that everything that I got from my school is there, and so that's just such a helpful thing to lean on. And I mean, it's especially helpful because the show is so accurate. Like, I am actually able to research specific papers and specific methods and actually look up science as opposed to, some other doctor shows where that's just not really their focus. And, if you if you go through the medical procedures, you're kind of like this person would die. So it is very helpful, being even having the privilege of being able to lean on that, honestly. So that's really lovely.
Yes. If you had become a doctor, do you think you would have taken the same approach that Dr. Mohan has taken? That she listens.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would be. I think I have a tendency to make sure everything I'm like doing is like good. And I think that's like really what I was like pulling on for her. She really feels like a version of me had I, not really done that self-discovery and figured out that I want to do something else. Like she really feels like a version of myself. And I definitely do think one of the reasons why I stepped away from being a doctor is because I just couldn't handle like that pressure of feeling like I could make a mistake. Cause like, if I make a mistake like on a TV set, like it's like, okay, they just yell cut and we can go again. At most, I'm adding like 10 minutes to a shoot day. If I make a mistake as a doctor, someone could die. And I think that anxiety also is a lot for her. I think that's why she moves pretty slowly because she doesn't want to make that mistake. And that was just so easy for me to grab onto because I just thought, yeah, I mean, that's why I don't think I can do that.
Yeah. In this episode that came out today, Dr. Abbott puts a lot of faith in her to do kind of this risky procedure. Why do you think he trusts her to do this?
I mean, I think the general consensus around her character is that even though she is slow, she is a really good doctor. I think that is why it is frustrating. I think there is not really any doubt in my abilities ever. It is more so a doubt in can I fit into this environment and what it requires of me. So I definitely think there is no doubt about whether I could do it. I do think Abbott is one of the characters that is more familiar with me than other characters because he's a night shift attending, and as a certified workaholic, Samira is taking up as many shifts as she possibly can, and so she's on the night shift with him a lot. And I think he definitely has noticed that I need to be pushed to do something riskier. I need to be pushed to do something that is maybe a little unconventional. And that is, I mean, it's a real procedure. There's only one medical paper on it in the world. It's not a common procedure. And I think he's pushing me to do something that requires a little bit of a risk, because that is the type of mentality you need in the ER. So it's definitely like lovely character development for her, and I'm just so happy that that they were able to show that with a real medical procedure. Like that is so cool.
Yes. It's also very on brand for Dr. Mohan and you that to know that there's only one medical paper on it, that you're just like, oh wait, let me do this research real quick.
I had a lot of questions when we were doing it because I mean everything's so accurate, right? When we're doing the show, and I had so many questions because I was just like, wait, we're taking a catheter and pulling air out of the vena I was like, what? Like what? Like what the? I was like, guys, this feels fake. And then our medical advisor was like, no, there's one paper on it. It's done. It's been done once, like in South Korea. And so I was like, oh shit. And I looked it up immediately after, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. And I wonder if we end up popularizing it more because we did it. That would be so crazy.
On the show, it felt to me when I was watching it that the whole Pit Fest shooting happens. You guys are doing it, and I'm sure that was intense to switch into that. And then it's just like they found the killer. We have to switch back to normal. For you as an actor, how was it like to switch to the intensity of Pitch Fest and then have to switch? Okay, we have to go back to quote unquote normal. How was that transition like up and down?
I don't know why the word coming to my mind right now is awful because it wasn't an awful experience. It was, I mean, it was some of the best work I think I've seen around me ever, just across all departments. It was everyone was on their A game. It was so amazing. But I mean, there are times where like you feel like something's actually happening. Like you really feel like you're gonna lose this patient. You really feel like this person actually has a hole in their face. It was really intense to film, and it required a lot more or a lot less hand holding because we had so many things going on at the same time. So it was also like this weird meta moment where sure my character's like stepping into her own, but also I'd been on the show for 11 episodes up until that point, so it's like roughly like 20 something weeks, and like I was able to like even step up to that plate and like bring my A game despite having less hand holding because like so much stuff is going on. And I it was just such a lovely moment, but it was definitely very intense to film.
Yes. How was it like working with Shawn? He is what I like to call a Wells baby. I have an Animal Kingdom shirt on now. He's like on every John Wells project, it seems like. How was it like, especially because he's not a main character on the show at all? How was it like to have such an intense scene with him? And it seems like they have such a connection.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it was so lovely working with him. He's such an experienced and talented actor. It was so lovely learning about his process and how he approaches scenes. I mean, I'm still so new to all of this, so working across, like such a giant in this world was so amazing. And yeah, I mean, I feel like it was so crazy filming the or what's the word, imitating the catheter pull because it just felt so crazy, and he was such a calming presence like through it all. So yeah, he's such a great person to work with.
Yes. So Dr. Mohan brings up this idea of special sauce, and that each character has it. But for you, what would you say is your special sauce that you bring to each set you go to?
Oh, that's such a good question. um This might be a boring answer, but I'm a really hard worker. Like I'm always like really over prepared for everything, probably to a fault. And so there's been several times when I'm like on set and like someone will be like, I don't really like get this moment. And it might be like a totally different scene. I'll be like, no, I read the whole script. And this is why I think this is happening because it's a callback to this and it's a callback to that. So I that's definitely like something I do bring. Like I work the hardest that I possibly can because I think like Samir, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. And there's upsides and downsides to that, but hey, you need someone like me everywhere. So that is the flavor I will bring.
Yes. So it's almost the end of everyone's shift. What do you hope that Dr. Mohan does at the end of her shift and between season 1 and season 2?
Oh my god, I hope she gets really drunk at that park. I hope she gets so drunk at that park. Like, it was so sad for me to realize she had, like, nothing going on for her other than work, and she doesn't interact with anyone outside of work. I don't know the last time she was drunk. It probably wasn't anytime recently, because all she's doing at night is taking, like, the night shift. Like, I just really hope she, like, lets loose a little bit more. And I don't know what's going on with season 2. I hope to hear soon. I know we start pretty soon. But yeah, I definitely hope she chills a little bit, or or just gets a little more of a life. I don't know, but I mean, maybe that's not interesting because that's less conflict. So I don't know what's going to end up happening with her.
Well, that's better than like picking up a drug habit. Like I rather her have like a good time than like we come in season 2 and like she's a patient or anything like crazy like that.
Oh my gosh, I know. That would be so funny if this is my first indication of that happening.
It's
It's
like
like, yeah, Ariana did say that this might happen, and now I'm seeing it in the script. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see what ends up happening. I mean, every idea that Scott has is so amazing. So, I'm forward to finding out what, if anything, will happen.
awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time to talk to me. I can't wait to talk to you about season 2, which I'm breaking to the news to you right now. Congratulations.
Oh
And
my.
good luck on tutoring. I hope you can still do that because it seems to be a passion.
Girl, I don't think so. I think it's bad for the students for me to be there, you know. So that might need to stop for a little bit at least.
We will see. Well, I will talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. Bye.
No
Have a good
problem. Bye.